We begin with rebuilding Ohio. I have been calling for the renewal of America's infrastructure for years. America is relying on an infrastructure that was built in the 1930s during the New Deal of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. That was the New Deal, and it was good. It's time in Ohio for a real deal. As governor of Ohio, I'll lead the way. We'll work with business, industry, labor, city leaders, and community organizations to repair, rebuild, and renew Ohio's infrastructure. We'll put Ohioans back to work rebuilding Ohio. We'll create good-paying Davis-Bacon jobs for skilled trades. We'll renew and rebuild our roads, our bridges, our water systems, our sewer systems, our parks, our recreation areas, jobs, good wages, economic progress, business investment. Ohio will be the place to visit, to locate to live, and to do business. Rebuilding and creating jobs means what? It means power to the people. What does it mean? Power to the people. Ohio broadband. Now listen to this. All of us have seen these growing broadband monopolies, which threaten the economic growth of our state and which widen the digital divide. Ohio's going to answer the call of the 21st century. I will soon announce a plan working with digital utility and consumer advocates to establish a new nonprofit public utility in Ohio, a new broadband service which will dramatically reduce the cost of broadband for all Ohio residents and businesses, provide a powerful high-speed platform for business growth while establishing net neutrality. Ohio broadband means power to we the people. What does it mean? Power to the people. Ohio business. Ohio will invest in infrastructure, healthcare, education, broadband, and other areas to enable Ohio businesses to thrive. I want to create a high-wage, high-profit, socially productive, and economically dynamic state with the help of Ohio's business leaders. And I will call on them to participate in this effort. We can no longer look to yesterday's ideological battles as guides to our future. We must be open to creating new alliances, new partnerships, new forums, and new possibilities. I will seek out the advice of Ohio's business leaders and America's visionaries and leading innovators. Growing Ohio economy means what? Power to we the people. Ohio, high skill, high wage, and profitable. Ohio recently increased its minimum wage to $8.30. Now that's a step in the right direction, but it's not enough. My goal will be to see the minimum wage in Ohio increase by 50% to $12.50 by the end of my first term. Ohio must strive to have a high skill and high wage and profitable economy. Higher wages means power to we the people. Ohio farmers. Now, agriculture is the foundation of a healthy economy. Farmers are the backbone of human health, and they are our environmental stewards. We will engage farmers in an inclusive opportunity to increase their bottom line. Ohio farmers will have a friend in the governor's office. In the coming weeks, I will announce an unprecedented plan to bring farmers, scientists, and our university talent together to enable Ohio's farmers to profit from ecologically friendly farming so they can grow wholesome, nutritious, healthy food, which will strengthen Ohio's position as a leading agricultural export state. Regenerative agriculture is the path to carbon sequestration and the restoration of our global climate. And I want to add that this is something that I'm going to be calling upon the special expertise and knowledge of a woman who has traveled the world and lectured on these issues, who just happens to be my wife, Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth. Now, regenerative agricultural practice will mean that farmers can reduce expenditures on agricultural inputs, help boost soil health, reduce exposure to chemicals, limit damaging nutrient runoff into our lakes and streams, improving our ability to provide clean drinking water. Ohio's farmers will be compensated for being on the front lines of climate mitigation. We're also going to explore removing barriers to growing industrial hemp. Prosperous farmers mean what? What do prosperous farmers mean? Power to we, the people. Consumer protection. Now, in 1972, I was instrumental in creating the Cleveland Office of Consumer Affairs, which still exists today. Well, the federal government moves to gut consumer protection. We will restore it in Ohio. Under my leadership, the state will create the Ohio Office of Consumer Protection, an accessible, transparent, and statutorily independent one-stop shop to protect the financial interests of Ohio consumers and legitimate businesses alike. Ohio consumer protection means power to we, the people.